To add this biographical section along with the image, we will have to look at what we did for the header bar and follow that same concept for making this work. The header is a container for the various columns that you see inside it. Following the same concept, then, you will create a div as a container for the two columns. And you can think of it as two columns. This one is one column on the left, and then this one would be the other column for a total of two columns. And I followed my guides here to where this biographical section is 7 columns, and this makes it 5 columns on this side. For each column, I will implement those as a div. So within this div that I created, that will contain both columns, I'll put that first div, and I already know that I need to apply a class of col-7 because it's 7 columns wide. There's my opening div, there's my closing div, and then for the other column with the picture, that would be div class equals, and I know that this one is 5 columns wide. I also know that within this div, they can be side by side because these two class selectors here automatically have this float left property applied to them. And I also know that 7 plus 5 is 12, which corresponds with how many columns this particular design has. Okay, now that we have that set up, we can add the content. We'll start with the biographical section. I want to add all this information as separate paragraphs. So we have 5 different paragraphs here. For you, you will have to type in all this information. For me, I can just copy and paste all that. I guess for those of you that have Photoshop, you could just copy this text and then paste it into your plain text editor. I'll add my first opening paragraph there and fix this so that I have 5 different paragraph elements. There's my first paragraph there. Second paragraph, I'll fix my white space also. Third paragraph. Fifth paragraph. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Fourth paragraph. Lost count. And last paragraph. Again, make sure that you have 5 different elements inside this div and use your white space so that you can tell how those paragraphs are nested within this div. Looking at the content, I see that I have special characters. There's an apostrophe right there, another apostrophe there, and one right there, and another one here. So I see 4 apostrophes that will need to be changed to their character entity. For apostrophes, that would be the end sign, APOS, semicolon. I'll just copy that and replace the other apostrophes with that. Now, what I want you to get out of this is that, let me fix that real quick. There's nothing wrong with copying text from Photoshop, Word, or whatever. There's nothing wrong with copying rich text and then pasting that into your plain text editor. The only thing that you'll have to watch out for would be the special characters. And that would be just a matter of changing those special characters into their character entities, or if you're using double quotes for attributes, it's just a matter of deleting the rich text that you copied and then replacing that with the plain text version. Let's save that and see what we have here. Oh, looks like I missed a couple of apostrophes, but this is a good illustration of what can happen if you don't change all your special characters, such as, or not all of your special characters, but certain special characters to their equivalent character entity. Let me do that for the other two that I missed. Here's I've, and there's let's somewhere. There we go. Save that and refresh. And this is what we have. 5 different paragraphs. Looking at my mockup, I need to add some space there. Padding and all that. What I can do is have all my paragraphs inherit their property from their parent. Instead of having to add a class to each one of these paragraphs, I can just make them inherit from their parent. So in the opening div for their container, I'll just say bio as a class, and I'll create that bio class in my CSS. We'll add a padding all around. That would be about 35 pixels. This will add a 35 pixel padding all around, top, bottom, left, and right. We'll also go ahead and use this class to add a background color to this container. And the background color will use the hex value of ECE AD1. Let's also do something about the font size. This one is 20 points, so we'll make that 20 pixels. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Save that. Make sure I save my HTML and refresh my preview. And that's what I have. I have a background and I've added a padding all around, and I made the font size 20 pixels. Comparing that with my mockup, I see that I still need to add some space after each paragraph. To target these paragraphs, I can do something like this. I can create a selector called div.bio p, reading it from right to left. I am targeting all paragraph elements that are inside a div with the class bio applied to it. And we know it's a class because it's a dot. Looking at the HTML, that's exactly what these paragraphs are. It's a paragraph that's inside a div with the class bio applied to it. We'll just add a space. We'll say margin bottom. Add that space. And we will estimate that to be 35 pixels. Save that, refresh, and now I've added 35 pixels after each paragraph. However, I don't want there to be a space, a margin of 35 pixels after the last paragraph. We can do the same thing that we use for this unordered list here. We can find the last paragraph and zero out the margin at the bottom. We can say, or we can create a class selector that looks like this. We're saying that in a series of paragraphs inside a div with the class bio applied to it, make it so that the last paragraph does not have a margin. That's what you see there. Okay, last thing I want to do in this video is change the color to our text here. Right now it's black, but looking at our mock-up here, it's actually this different shade right here. It's not black, and it's going to be the same for the footer. The easiest way to do this is to just have these inherit from some parent or descendant or grandparent, I guess. I want them to inherit the color. They can inherit the color from the body tag. We'll just say color, and this text is (6B605C). Save that and refresh. Now we've changed all of the colors there without having to specify each individual element because they've inherited from a parent or a grandparent. And I say grandparent because, let's see, say this paragraph right here, hi there, I'm Ragus. Its parent would be this div, and then its parent would be that div, and this div's parent would be main, and then main's parent would be body. So we have lots of parents in between body and that paragraph. So that's what I say, some type of grandparent, like great, great, great grandparent or something like that. Okay, so let's compare this with our mockup. It's looking pretty good. What we have left to do then is to add this image, and we'll save that for the next video. And then the video after that, we'll add the footer.